All right, number one. We're going to do factoring, three-step method. It's always the five-step method, but it turns into three-step. The first step is GCF. So I'm supposed to see what number goes into 1, 8, and 15. So 1, right? And because there's no number out here, there's no star, right? So there's no GCF. Part 2 is that star variable, if you remember from last year. And so there's no star cleanup. Okay? So this one's done too. So it's really just the parentheses and the variable. Okay? And the next step is signs. And Dante, this first sign comes down, right? Okay? And then the second sign, what does that tell me? Does anyone remember?
Subtraction.
Why is it subtraction?
Because plus and minus.
A negative plus a plus.
Because a plus means that they are the same. So these two signs have to be the same.
Since I was going to say it, he took over.
Okay? Alright. Next. What's a product? Now, do you see where this is coming from now? Product and sum, right? Because we did last test, we did a productation, the summation, right? Product and sum. So you get used to those names, right? So the product is 15. And the sum is, okay? And so two numbers that multiply to be 15, but they add, guys, add to be 8. So what two numbers multiply to be 15 and add to be 8?
7. Just kidding. Hold on.
5 and 3.
Oh yeah, biggest one.
Big number first, okay? Alright.
Stop.
Now, all you have to do is set each one equal to 0. X minus 5 equals 0. X minus 3 equals 0. Because no matter what, 0 times any number is 0, yeah? So if I plug this in, I get x is equal to 5. So if I plug a 5 in here, it's going to be 0. If I plug a 5 in here, it's going to be 2. But 0 times 2 is still 0, and that's why it's a solution. And then you do the same thing to this. X has to equal 3. If you plug a 3 in here, it becomes 0. A 3 here becomes minus 2. But minus 2 times 0 is still 0. And so they're both solutions. Okay? And remember, those are solutions for what? For when this is hitting the negative, 3 and 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we know it's smiling, right? So it's looking like this. Whereas the axis of symmetry is right here. We're going to learn that next. Okay? But not today. I don't think. We'll see. I don't know what they're going to expect from me. Alright, number 3. Number 3 is the same thing. Parentheses, x, x, this comes down. Oh wait, I can't do that yet. Why can't I do it yet? Because it's not equal to 0. I need to make this equal to 0. So I subtract 14, and I get x squared minus 5x minus 14 equals 0. Okay? And now, parentheses. Okay? And then bring this down. This tells me that these are
Plus. Different.
different. Good. And then two numbers that multiply to be 14, but they subtract to be 5. What numbers multiply to be 14, but subtract to be 5?
7 and 2.
7 and 2.
2.
Right? And it's 7 minus 2, right?
Oh, I don't know.
So it's 7 and 2.
Oh, yeah.
7 and 2.
Now, you set these equal. X minus 7 equals 0. X plus 2 equals 0. And you solve. X equals 7 and negative 2. That's it. Okay? Now we're going to come over to 11 here. Okay? And number 11, we do the same thing, but this is going to be more of a 5-step method. Going to move the 4 over. Minus 4, so I get 12x squared plus 13x minus 4 equals 0. Now the first step is GCF. What goes into 12, 13, and 4?
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay. So, we do parentheses. Star variable. Okay? Now, what's the first sign?
Multiply plus.
This is a plus. Good. And then this tells me that they are different. Good. And then we have product and sum. The product is 4 times 12, which is 48. And what's the sum? The middle number. Okay? So Dante, I multiply to be 48, but do I add or subtract to be 13?
Subtract.
Nice, Alyssa.
He actually was going to say it anyways. I was just making sure.
Alright, so
Dan doesn't think I'm gonna do
next, what do I do? Yeah, find them. What multiplies to be 48, but they subtract to be 13? 16 times 3. Nice. 16 times 3. Okay? Then what do I do? What do I got to do now? Yeah, remember our star was how much? 12. So I got to pull out a factor of 12. Either 12 and 1, or 3 and 4, 2 and 6. But something needs to be pulled out. So I can't pull out a 12. Can I pull out a 3? No. Yes. Can I pull out a 4? Yes. So a 4 and a 3. See how that works? Okay? Now 4 comes out of 12 how many times?
3.
And out of 16?
4.
And out of 12?
Wouldn't that be 4?
Yep. And out of 3?
Wouldn't it be just 1?
Yes. Okay, and so now I have 3x plus 4 equals 0, and 4x minus 1 equals 0. And remember, all it is the opposite of this over this. X equals negative 4 over 3, and the opposite of this would be 1 over 4. Does everyone see how I got there?
Yeah, I do.
Okay? You can do the math in minus 4 and divide by 3, and add 1 and divide by 4, or you can just do the opposite and over. Opposite over. Opposite over. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Next, they want you to be able to find the square roots. Alright? The square roots mean plus or minus. We can't forget, square roots have plus and minus on them, right? If you get rid of this, I do this. But x is equal to the plus or minus the square root of 9, which is 3. Right? Pretty simple. Okay? So what about 15? How do I do that? Dante, how do I do 15?
You take the square root of both sides.
Perfect. Thank you, Wyatt. Then what do I get? X equals what?
Oh, you gotta do that. You gotta find the square root that goes into that.
That's right. I gotta take that 40 and break it down. Upside down division. What goes into 40? 2. Always use primes. 2. 2 goes into 40 20 times. 2. 10. 2. 5. Always primes.
You always want to use primes when you're going down? I didn't really like that, so I'm just kind of... Oh, yeah.
Okay?
You're right.
And then pull out your
And
pairs.
then there's like 2 people in the
Because we're dealing with square root, right? We're pulling out pairs. So it's a 2, and whatever's left stays in the box. 2 square roots of 10. That's the answer.
Well, you're on my part.
Right, Dante?
Yeah, it's 2. Okay.
Filming, can you wait a minute? So it's like
Yeah. Negative 4 thirds.
So what do I do with this one?
Oh, hold on.
square root 3x equal.
Nope. Don't square root 3x squared.
You divide by 3.
Divide by 3.
Good job, Rosie.
Wow.
X squared equals 4. Then what?
Take square root.
Square root both sides. So x equals plus or minus, right? Oh, by the way, this is plus or minus this 2 square root 10. Plus or minus 2 square root 10. And this is plus or minus 2, right?
Rosie said you're ugly.
Alright, then what? What do I do to this last one? Number 19. Come on.
It's just a hate me.
Wyatt, what do I do?
Is that 5 squared?
5s squared.
5s squared? Oh, divide each by 5.
You need
-5.
Gosh, you said why? I'm not answering them with it.
Wait, is that just a weird S?
Squared equals 6.
Forgot.
And then what?
Dash on.
Squared.
Forgot.
I'm gonna go back.
So then s is equal to this plus or minus the square root of 6. Because the square root of 6 doesn't break down, does
No,
it?
it's just an S. It's just a weird
It's like
variable.
Okay? Plus or minus the square root of 6. Alright.